Okay, here we are, 2017 Ram 2500 with the 6.7 Cummins. Truck's got about 112,000 miles on it. What's going on is every time I notice, this has been going on for probably 4 or 5 months now, I change out the turbo actuator with a CD diesel. I don't know if I had this symptom before, but basically what happens is that when the truck goes into regen, it just idles really rough. It'll surge when I come to a stop. When I'm just in drive, it'll just go vroom, vroom, vroom like that, and then it just sounds different when it's idling. But once I hit the throttle, it goes away. Or if I just keep the RPMs up, especially when I take it for a ride, just keep rolling it for like a half hour. Once it finishes the regen, it's over with. So my conclusion is that I don't think the throttle bar is getting stuck, because that only affects vacuum at park open, and it's letting too much air and making it surge there. But once I hit the throttle, maybe it closes or shut. One of those are happening. So, and we'll see what happens, because my truck's regen about once a week, commuting about 20 miles each way every day, but it's kind of like city driving. I'm doing like 40-50 miles an hour tops, and it's inconsistent. So it does regen, but it only does like once every week and a half. That's probably every 400 miles or so. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about this and how I'm going to do everything. I'm going to go step by step as much as I can, getting this thing off, then really installing it and doing all that. One thing you want to get is, I got a whole gasket kit here from Geno's. They recommend doing this every 67.5. This the fourth gen don't call for the service. I have done the CCV valve at that mileage. This kit's really awesome. It comes with plugs to plug everything off, so you could soak it. You got all new gaskets. All that is good to go. So make sure you have gaskets if you're going to do this. If you reuse an old one, I can't tell you it's going to create a leak or something, but you're always best changing out gaskets. I also got this for a cleaner. It's a cleaner degrease. I'll soak it in this really good. I'm also going to do is mark where the threads are on this here. I've taken this off before, but I just mark here so I know where I want to end up with the threads, how tight. And I already have a blue mark here, so where this lines up, I'll just put a red piece there again, so we know. That way we don't confuse it putting it back together. Now we got these 4 10 mil to get off. Okay, 4 bolts are off. This thing should pop off, but let's see, shall we? It's on there pretty good. There we go. A little love tap there. Oh my God, look at this soot, guys. Look at the amount of soot right there. That is metal, but it's not as bad as I thought. Not as bad as I thought. You guys a close up. So it's not all that bad. Not great, but not horrible. Gaskets still look fine. I have to take all this off too, but they're not crushed down. Could actually reuse them, but see, not all that bad. So I'm sitting the edges in here too, but again, not freaking horrible here. Doesn't look as bad as I thought it would, that's for sure. It's got some carbon in there, but not freaking horrible. Let's take off the solenoid here with these screws. See what we got. To make sure we put this back the same way, so it's going to go like that. This one, I don't think you want to get wet or anything. This is electronic, so I'm just going to clean it off. Wipe it down here, then blow it off with an air compressor here. Okay, blew it off. Definitely a little bit cleaner now. Yeah, I'm not going to go, I don't want to get this wet, because this is electronics. I can blow this. Okay, we're going to leave that like that is. A lot of guys take this retaining pin off here, these 2 small ones. I'm not messing with that. I don't want that thing going missing. See if it pushes in and out. Yeah, it does, but this thing got a little resistance to it. Alright, now we're just going to hose this thing out and then soak it with this purple power. Going to start rinsing this bad boy. It's ready, even better. What I'm going to do now is fill it up with this degreaser. I'll let that sit for a while. We'll come back, rinse it out, do it again. Guys, I literally just let this sit for maybe 15 to 25 minutes with this degreaser. I just tipped it over and look at that. Look what's coming out of this thing. Solid black. I'll rinse it out and let it soak again. This time let it soak for hours. Okay, here we are back. This is about 2.5 hours later. It's been soaking for about 2.5 hours. Let's see what we got. Yep, still friggin' jet black coming out. Still jet black. Let that soak for about 3 hours or so. Another 3 hours, 2-3 hours, we'll see. And then I'm gonna rinse it out and let it dry out overnight. Hey guys, here we are back the next morning. But what I'm gonna do, well, I say while I'm at it, I have the day to do this. I have to have the truck back on the road tomorrow. But while I'm at it, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take off this intake horn without having to take over this crossover tube. I try to do while having to take off this crossover tube. If I have to do it, then I'll take it off. But I'm gonna take off this intake horn and clean it up best I can. So clean it up, have it dry, whatever I do. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do because this solenoid that's down here for the throttle body, this guy here, I don't know if that can get wet. Maybe it can unscrew. I have no idea. I can't find anything online about that. But I'm gonna take this thing off, clean it. Clean up the grid heater. I don't know how much soot is sitting on there, so we're gonna get started, get all this going here. Okay, got this nut off over here. It's an 8mm under here. I had to kind of go from the side with a ratcheting box wrench, and it's pretty difficult to get at, but it's doable. Now I'm just undoing this band clamp over here, getting this off. Okay, now I got all 10 mils here. Those little tab pulls will come in handy for this. 13mm on this one. Clamp is definitely been on here. Never been off. It's freaking seized on here pretty good. Mark the line where it's at. One thing I forgot, there's another bolt right down in there, if you could see that, between the fuel line. So I got all the other ones out. I forgot that one. So you have a six fasteners holding this down. 3 on that side, 3 on this side, 1 long one there. So I got to loosen up. I've been fighting, trying to get this thing off. But it's one more bolt, and I should do it. A lot easier to do this one. It's up here. Pop this out. There it goes. Wow, look at all that oil, guys. Holy Christ. That is carboned up, man. Not as bad as I thought, and not great. Look at that, guys. This solenoid, I don't know if it could get wet or not. I'm not gonna take it off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some cleaner in here and just kind of let it sit like this. That way I don't get this sensor, less chance of getting that wet. These old Torx bits holding this thing. Can I take this off? Probably, but I don't want to mess with it. I'm just gonna clean this thing decently. Not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought this carbon here would be completely piled up, but it's not. Take a look. Good look at this puppy here. I think got some carbon in here, but not as bad as I thought it could be. Let's see in there. Definitely carboned up, but not horrible. Okay, what I'm doing is scraping off this gasket. It's really on here. All it has is a regular razor like that. I don't have one of those ones that you can put on a handle, but I would recommend you get one of those if you're going to do this yourself. But I'm keeping it clean. I taped off this section so that way I don't get any debris in here. I got my vacuum ready to go, making sure I get nothing in here because you want to keep this clean as possible. You really don't want anything dropping in here at all. So just working it slowly here, but it's taking some time for sure to get this gasket off and clean. So that's what it is. Okay, got that clean as I could with a razor. That looks pretty good to me. Can't really complain about that much. That looks pretty good, guys. It looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna mess with that anymore. I vacuum it out. I'll vacuum it out again, of course, before I put everything back together, but that looks pretty darn good there. So I think I'm gonna leave it. I tried the Scotch-Brite pad. Doesn't really do much. The razor is pretty much the way to go. We polish it a little bit with the Scotch-Brite, but that's about it. So I got probably 90-95% off of that gasket, so that should do just fine. One thing I'll mention, if you notice when I was removing this intake horn, that 5 of these 6 fasteners that hold down the intake horn were not that tight, really. Like the one in the middle here I had to really crank on, but the other ones, I mean, just barely. And it came right off. And now I did have PB blaster on just a tiny bit, but still, those came out a little bit too easily. So I could have had a boost leak for years and years now. The truck's got about 112,000 miles on it at this point. It's the first time this has ever come off, at least as long as I've had it. I'm the second owner. I got it with around 20k or 25k thousand miles, so I doubt it was off at that point. As far as I'm seeing online, the torque specs to hold down the intake horn here is 18 foot-pound, all these fasteners, and for the E-jar that gets held down to the intake horn, that is showing 18 foot-pounds too. So I have a little torque wrench here. This guy, nothing special. I don't like it that much because when it does click, it's not that firm of a click, so you have to be careful. You don't want to over torque something. What I'm going to do is put the hand, fasteners in by hand, get them snug, like, use my Milwaukee 1/4 inch drive, impact driver, just put them down gently, then come around with a torque wrench and torque them all to 18 foot-pounds, and that should be good. If I feel like it's too tight with the torque wrench, I'll just stop and then try it by hand. But should be fine. 18 foot-pounds is really not that much. These are 10mm bolts, so shouldn't be issue. The last thing you want to have to do is snap the bolt here going into this intake flange here off the side of the motor. So there we go. We're just letting this intake soak. We'll clean it up, let it dry. They'll reinstall it. I'm hoping to have this done today before the sun goes down, and right now it is about 1 p.m. So I got this thing cleaned up decently. I can't get all the way down in there perfectly unless I have a parts washer and take off all that soldering, which I'm not doing. This is my main daily driver. I have to have the truck on the road, so if this was like a side truck or side vehicle, I would get more crazy with it. But I'm not have that kind of time. But the throttle body is pretty clean. Some carb on the flapper there, but around the perimeter there where it closes, makes that seal, that looks real good. But you can see how much carbon is down over there, especially where the map sensor is. There's like chunks in here of stuff. But letting this dry out, I got a fan over here. So I let this side soak for about an hour, filled this up, rinsed it out. Then I let this side soak for about an hour, rinsed it out. Then I use some of this stuff, throttle body cleaner, to clean out that throttle body there. Because I try to brush all the degreaser, it was really on there. So again, I let this side soak again for an hour on both sides, and rinsed them out real good. Then hit it with some throttle body cleaner. Then I took the air hose from my compressor, blew everything out real good, and now I'm just going to let it dry real good here with the fan for at least 15 minutes or so. We'll see. But that's as good as she's going to get, really. That soot is all wet from the oily vapors and all that crap, so that's what we got. Keep going. Okay, I'm ready to start putting this thing back together. I'm going to put the map sensor on. So I got a little bit of O-ring lubricant here. And torque these down with specs now. So they're all snug first. Okay, took it for a ride. All seems good. I just forgot to tighten up this crossover tube, so I'll tighten that back down and just start it again to make sure we don't have any squealing with the exhaust leaks again. But I'll let this cool down because this pipe gets hot real fast. So, looks like we're good, guys. That thing was a little bit nerve-wracking for me. I haven't done this before on this vehicle. But I have taken off intake manifolds in other vehicles and whatnot, but this is my first time for this one, so hopefully this video helped you. One pointers I would give out is that gasket's hard to get off. They get stuck on there, so get like a razor with a handheld to really scrape that off, and make sure I put tape over there and a rag. so nothing falls into the intake. So be real clean, get that gasket off, and just torque everything down to specs. The intake horn to there is 18 foot-pounds. I just did this one and that one at 18 foot-pounds too. So, and then these, you know, these screws just put in by hand. I just snugged up this one and snugged up this one, holding the shield on. Those aren't really critical. It's just holding the shield, so just snug them up, and that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Put them in the comment section below. But I hope this video helped you. I feel like the truck idles a lot better and just sounds smoother just off of that. Okay guys, so I'm going to go over the tools that I use for this job. Obviously you can use other tools, but this is what I have and this is what I use and this is what worked for me. So if you want, I would recommend you change out the gaskets. This one, I could have reused these. Would they be fine? I don't know for sure, but it's not worth having to do the job again. I already have the Geno's Perform service kit with all the gaskets in there. So say, you know what, let me just use them. The one that they don't come with is the metal one on the EGR crossover tube. This is the one here where the metal gasket goes. That's the one that was leaking, so I had the crossover tube a little bit too far that way. So I'll loosen this up, bring it over, tighten it down, tighten that down. So far so good. Here's the main things you need. You need, you know, deep sockets. I use, this is a 7/16, or you can use 11mm. And that's for the bolt that goes on the clamps for the intercooler hose that goes to intake horn, and then that also fits the clamps on the crossover tubes. Then you 10mm are going to be using a lot. That holds all the fasteners. The intake horn, then you need a deep 10, short 10, 13mm for the bolt that goes onto the intake horn. Then wobbly sockets, 3/8, 1/4 inch. These come in real handy. If you have a long one of these to get in there for that crossover tube, that will come in handy. This one barely makes it. It's an 8mm, 10mm magnetic thing. This always helps, you know, if you drop a screw or whatever, or fastener. Like I will loosen up the fasteners on the intake horn and just use this to pull them out so you're not trying to get in there. A knife, plenty of razor blades, okay, for scraping off that gasket. If you have one of those razor blade tools, that's even better. Magnetic tray helps. Impact driver if you want. This is a 1/4 inch basic one. This is, I just loosen them up then pull them the rest of the way with this. This makes things a little bit faster. 1/4 inch ratchet and 3/8 ratchet. This is a flex tip anyone will do. And then I have the Allen key set here. I mean the torque bit set. The torque bit set, and that's just to get off the map sensor with that bank spacer on there. That helps with that. But that's all the tools that I could think of right now. Obviously you're going to need some extension. You're going to need 1/4 inch, 3/8, have all that ready to go too. But these are the main tools that I can think of offhand that I used on the project. So hopefully that helps. One thing I'll mention, use just regular blues painter tape over the grid heater, those little bars there. Don't just do one layer, do multiple layers. That way if you drop something there, it doesn't cut through it and go right through. So multiple layers of that. I was thinking about duct tape, but I didn't want the adhesive on there. So any tape will do, but just do multiple layers to really help you there.